Okay, so I have started recording. You are recording, fine. So there are 43 students. It seems majority of the students are absent, around how many? 16 students. Okay, I can't see the roll numbers here, but anyway, I'll take the attendance in between. Can somebody respond whether my audio clarity is good and I'm audible and the slide is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us understand what are the concepts which are associated with files. Okay. So before we take up the actual programming aspects of files, there are certain important points to be noted in C++ environment. Okay, so recall that the mechanism or the process of handling files in C and C++ are different. Okay, so the process of handling or operating the files in C as well as in C++ are different. So before understanding what are the differences, first let me tell you the advantages of handling files in C++ compared with the same logic that probably you could have handled using C. Okay, right? So confined to C++, when you start operating with files, okay, so because C++ talks about object-oriented programming properties, where the main advantage of object reusability, okay, so the main advantage of object reusability is maximum utilized. The usage of files in C++ environment is much more productive than in C. Okay, so recall our first semester coursework where we have written the C programs. Okay, we have written the C programs by taking the file handler. We called that as a file handler or file pointer. So there is a specific derived data type, okay, whose wrapper data type name is file, and then we have used file star fp. Okay, and there are certain functions where I have asked you to remember around some 8 or 9 functions. That includes fopen, fread, fwrite, fgetc, fputc, fclose. Okay, so those are the functions that we have used in order to handle files, and files uh, we have considered the files with English, meaning the text files, and it is also possible to write or read the files which are binary files. Okay, so let me again repeat. In C, we have used the derived data type, which is a wrapper data type, that is file star fp, and we have used the functions. Okay, so where those functions are defined? Yes, where those functions are defined. File handling functions in C are defined where?
stdlib.h.
No, it is not stdlib. Yes? Yes? Where are the functions which are defined in files of C? I mean, the functions which we have used to handle the data or to store the contents in the files. We have used certain functions, I mean many functions: open, fopen, fread, fwrite, fgetc, fputc, fput, fget, okay, fclose. Where are these functions? Where these functions are defined? Yes?
stdio.h.
Yeah, it is stdio.h only. Standard input output header file.h. Okay, so your file handling functions are defined in stdio.h. Okay, so notice that in C++ environment, you will not use #include stdio.h. However, if you use hash include stdio.h, and even if you save that as a CPP code, because it is the extended version of the C compiler only, okay, so the program will not get any errors. So meaning the program that you have written for C compiler can be directly compiled without even one character change in C++ environment. However, because C++ talks about the object-oriented programming principles with reusability of objects, usage of files in C++ will be much more productive. Okay. Okay, so am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now the first difference in C as well as in C++ in order to handle the files are, okay, so we use objects in C++ and we will use direct APIs, direct functions, which are file star FP, which is nothing but a file pointer in C. So let me again repeat the first difference in C and C++. In order to tackle the files, in C we use file star, which is a derived data type, and we use the built-in functions which are available in stdio.h. Whereas in C++, you have to use objects. Okay, so this is the first difference. And the second difference is constructing or formulating the logics in C will be little cumbersome. Okay, so specifically for some of the applications that I will be citing now. Whereas in C++, it yields a productive use of object reusability. This is the second difference. I'll explain, or I will rather elaborate, and I will rather justify how or why this is happening in C++. Okay, so let me again repeat the second difference. The second difference is in C++, sometimes usage of files needs tedious programming. Okay, so you can't capitalize the usage of reusability at the machine code execution level. But in C++, since it deals about the object code reusability by using the notion of inheritance and the data privacy, okay, so we will get the advantages in terms of reusability of code. Okay, reusability of code in C++. So this is the second advantage. And third advantage is when you deal with files with C, they are almost like insecure. So if you take a file pointer and if you know where is the path of the file, okay, it is very easy for a programmer. Once the path is known, it is very easy to any other person to directly create a .exe file and access to that path and then fetch the data. Okay, so whereas in C++, if you create since we are using files using objects in C++, okay, so if you create the object of that file as one of the private data member of a class, if you create an object of that file handler as one of the data member of your class, then you are incorporating the data privacy. That means even though the path is visible in C++, you will not be in a position to allow the other persons or allow the other users to access the data. Okay, so this is another yet powerful and very important advantage of implementation of files by using objects using C++ programming concepts. Okay, and the fourth advantage in C++ is it will be a clean code, meaning even though if you are not disallocating the objects that you have created, once the application is getting terminated, then by default the destructors will automatically disallocate the memories that are created in your object, through your objects, because there is a default constructor and default destructors which will be implicitly called. Whereas in C, programmer has to take care of the memory that has been used to be released. Okay. Okay, so if the file handler is opened and if the files are not closed properly, then there is a possibility that your data will be getting corrupted in C, and this situation may not arise in C++. So these are the important 4 differences between C and C++. Okay, so am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us understand the programming aspects now. So I said even before understanding the programming aspects, let me give you the real world examples of that will justify the advantages of usage of files in C++ using objects than in C. Okay, so there are 2 important applications. Okay, so the first application is developing the device drivers. Okay, so developing a device driver meaning you have a specific hardware, and when you are connecting that hardware to a processor, probably your processor is already has been loaded with a specific operating system. For example, if it is a laptop or if it is a computer, you already have Windows or Linux operating system. Similarly, if you are talking about a mobile handheld device, then you have something like Android and other lightweight operating systems. Okay, so what am I talking about? I am talking about what are the 2 applications of usage of files confined to C++ that justifies the importance of developing the logics in C++ than in C. Okay, so the first advantage is in order to write the device drivers using C++ will be much more productive. The reason is, consider an example of developing a device driver for a USB. So we all know how to use USB, which is a mass storage secondary device, secondary mass storage device. So you have different flavors of USB, which are either from Kingston or Transcend, isn't it? So whenever you are connecting that to a USB port, then the operating system has to automatically detect it. So detecting the process of your hardware, okay, that is nothing but processor needs to understand that you are connecting a USB, and it has to automatically install its routines, its functions that needs to be integrated with the operating system, so that user can flexibly use that device in order to tackle the data to and from the processor. That is called a device driver. So a device driver is nothing but a piece of C code. Now in our scenario, it is a C++ code, okay, which will allow you, or which will tell which specific, what specific operations that the processor can able to do. Okay, so having said this, if you are operating your device driver, or if you are implementing a device driver at object level, if you are implementing your device driver at object level, then once you are connecting a hardware, and if that objects, and if those device specific objects are getting injected into the operating system kernel objects, if those device specific objects are getting injected into the operating system kernel objects, then it creates a permanent tree. Okay, it creates a permanent interface. Even though if you are shutting down your system, even though if you are shutting down the system, and or if you are removing, and again if you are plugging in again the same device to the same port, reinstallation and then typically the reinstallation of your entire device drivers does not require. Okay, so as a result, at object level, you are dealing with a efficient mechanism of communicating the hardware with your processor. So this is reason 1. Are you following? No answer. Are you following?
Yes, sir. Sir, can you repeat once
Okay.
again?
Yeah. So first advantage is whenever you are asked to implement a device driver, okay, so if you use the concept of classes, and if you access, see, typically there are 3 types of device drivers. I will not dig into the details because how to write a device driver is a part of course, separate course that will probably come to you if when you take up a computer organization, which is a advanced computer organization in your MTech first semester. Okay, so I'm just giving a flavor of example. Assume that you have a new device. Let us assume for our ease of understanding, I'm taking a pen drive. So when you are connecting a pen drive to a USB port, it has to install its driver automatically. Okay, so when you write your driver code using C++, then since you are dealing all the application at the object level, okay, then the installation of your driver into your operating system, which already has objects with your newly created device specific objects, will be easy, which will allow your operating system to have an efficient interfaces between the connected hardware device and the processor. Okay, so this is the first advantage. Yeah, so the second advantage is developing the operating system itself. Okay, so if you are talking about incorporating the security services into the operating system, since you have the flavor of creating the instances of your classes by taking the concept of private access specifier. Okay, so if you start customizing the kernel is nothing but it is a core code of any operating system. Okay, so I'll just take one example. If you have a Linux, in Linux is it is a bundle of operating system. I mean, it's a very big operating system. In that operating system, you will have a completely written C code, which is called as a kernel. Okay, so kernel is a main fellow who is responsible for, who will be acting as a dispatcher or the other policy based codes. Now, if you want to address privacy, for example, you want to do, you are asked to do, let us say a banking application or a device is being designed in order to deploy to a banking service or some secure transaction. Okay, so then the customization at the device level, because at the application level, hackers can able to inject different Tarzans. So at the boot code level, that means when the system is booting, operating system is a part of your booting. Okay, so in order to add the flavor of security in your custom specific operating system for a specific hardware, you use the concept of files with C++. Okay, so there are two simple one-line answers. What I have been talking for the last 5 to 10 minutes. First advantage is if you use implementation of device drivers using C++, plugging the objects of your device into the OS will become easy. That is point one. And second point is if you want to customize the kernel, which is already available, and you will be doing the kernel programming when you take up a course. Again, there is a specific course called real-time operating system, which is called as RTAS. Okay, which will again actually come in the second semester of your MTech. Okay, if you take up this specialization. Okay, so at that time you will be asked to customize the kernel or program a kernel or change the kernel or write new policy based kernel code or design a new dispatcher or design a new scheduler. Okay, so at that time those codes can be written by using C++ classes, which mainly addresses the security, because at the booting time itself you are not allowing the other devices to access these instances. Okay, so these are the two advantages. Am I clear? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Kirti, you are there? Kirti is absent today? 49? Okay, she's absent. Okay, fine. So coming to C++, So how do we start? So the first step is clear. First step is clear. What is clear? You have to deal with objects. You have to deal with objects. Okay. Now, if you look at the implementation of different classes, which will come as a bundle of C++ packages. Okay, so I have again projected a slide. I hope it is visible on your screens. Is it visible?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so you have a iOS, which is a base class. So remember, we have discussed this at the time of discussing what virtual base class and hybrid inheritance. Okay, so there is a iOS class. So this iOS, which is a base class, with this as a base class, you have iStream, which is called input stream class, and you have OStream, which is called as output stream class, whose instances are already available to you by using iostream.h, and those instances are cin for iStream class object and cout as an object of OStream class, and both in iStream class and in OStream class, these two objects cin and cout are they have implemented a friend version of operator overloading of left shift and right shift respectively in order to accept the data from the standard console keypad, standard input keypad into the stream input buffer, and from the stream buffer, in order to throw the data onto the monitor, the insertion operator, that is the left shift operator overloading, is being implemented using cout in OStream class. Okay, so this we have already seen, which is in the upper half of the class hierarchical diagram. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So notice that in this, if you concentrate only iOS, iStream, OStream, and iOStream, there is this comes under a very good example of hybrid inheritance. Okay, so what is the problem in hybrid inheritance? What is the problem? What is the problem in diamond problem? So what is the diamond problem? If you create the instance of a grandchild class, okay, for example, even if you take cin and cout, if you want to access the properties of grandparent by using which path those properties needs to be inherited is confused by the compiler. So in order to avoid this, we use the concept of what?
Virtual base class.
Virtual base class. So in this, which are the virtual base classes? Are there one virtual base class, or are there two, or are there three, or are the four? Are all these four classes are virtual base class? What is the answer? I'm talking about only four classes. Only how many?
Two. iStream and OStream. Two.
Yeah, that is correct. Only iStream and OStream, which are in between iOS and iOStream, these two must be virtual base classes. Okay, so in continuation with this, what Stroustrup has done and his team has done, they have created another class which is inherited from iOStream and which is called as fstream. So first step is, since you have to deal the files by using objects, you have to say that I am going to use fstream.h. So first step one is you write a hash include fstream.h. That is step one. Okay, so where is fstream is clear now? Where is fstream? Fstream is at the third hierarchical level of the already precompiled compiler package whose class is implemented as shown in the figure. That is step one. Is it clear? You have to use hash include fstream.h, because other than iostream.h, you also need to use fstream.h. That is step one. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And also notice that in iStream class, there exists another class which is publicly inherited, which is called as input file stream, which is ifstream. Subsequently, you have output file stream, and notice that these two classes are defined in fstream.h. Notice that these two classes are defined as child classes of iStream and OStream classes in fstream.h. But the instances of these classes are not created in fstream. So the second step is, first of all, you understand what is happening here. ifstream is nothing but input file stream, which will function analogously same as input stream class, where the object of input stream class, which was by default cin, by using which we are in a position to access the data from the keyboard into your stream buffer. If you create an object of input file stream class, if you create an object of input file stream class, okay, so let us assume that object is fn, so that so that I'm maintaining the same analogy with cin. So if I create as a programmer an object of input file stream, then using that input file stream object, which is fn, it is now possible to read the data from the file into your C++ code. Is point number 2 is clear?
Yes, sir.
Am I clear?
Yes,
Am I
sir.
clear? I lost your audio. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Nobody is talking.
Sir,
Yes,
can you
sir.
repeat once again, sir?
What happened?
Sir,
Am I clear? I'm not getting any audio.
Sir.
Hello? Am I audible?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir, we are speaking. I think you are not getting our audio. Okay, no, I don't know. Am I audible now? Now
Yes,
can
sir.
yeah, now it
Sir.
is clear. Now I can able to hear. Okay. So there was a call drop. I don't know. Can somebody check whether I don't know till which concept you are in a position to. Uh, I mean, in between I stopped and then I went. That also have you seen and have you listened that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So is the second point is also clear in that case? What I have discussed? Okay, I think I have not shared the content. Is the slide is visible?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah, 1 minute. Hang on. Now is the slide is visible? Now is the
Yes,
slide
sir.
is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Can somebody check whether the meeting is getting recorded?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. So note that this is a very important concept. Okay. Only thing is, because the problems to solve, it will take a lot of time. So that was the reason why the questions, majority of the questions which are files based with the programs are quite rarely asked. But you cannot say that it is out of syllabus if at all asked. Okay. So because streams are there in the class, in the syllabus. So streams means both input output streams as well as file streams. Now we are discussing about the file streams. So where are we? We are in the process of understanding how to handle the files. So point number 1, you have to start including fstream.h. Point number 2, you need to identify which object needs to be created. What do you mean by that? Whether do I need to create an object to access the data from already available file, or do I need to create an object in order to create a file itself and then start writing into it? So how do I do the analysis? So I need to use either an object of input file stream or output file stream, such that if I use an object of input file stream, okay, so the creation of input file stream object is mandatory. The creation of input file stream object, in our example, let us use fin, which is in analogy with cin. So cin is an object of iStream. Notice that cin and cout, these two are default objects which are available with us. Okay, so similar to cin, if I want to use fin, okay, now the second point is you have to mandatorily declare that fin is an object of type ifstream. Otherwise, you will get an error, because fin and fout, okay, otherwise fin and fout, they are not pre-created objects. It is the developer that you have to create. So this is point number 2. Am I clear? So first point is use fstream.h. Second point is you have to identify and create the objects which are fin or fout. Now you use fin, which is of type input file stream, in order to read the data from a file. Remember cin. What are you doing in cin? You are reading. You are reading from where? From keyboard into where? Into a stream. Similarly, fin means you have to read from where? From file. Read from a file into where? Into your program. Okay, so if you use fin, you are talking about reading the contents from a file. On the other hand, if you use fout, you are talking about writing the contents into a file. This is point number 3. Clear? If you use fout, you are talking about writing the data into the file. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Still I'm not, yeah, fine. Next is, first of all, how to open a file. Okay, so in order to open a file, there is a built-in member function which can be called by using either fin or fout, and its name is open, just open. Okay, so fin or fout dot open of file name with optional mode. Notice that the mode is optional. Okay, notice that the mode is optional. Now remember fin. Is the slide is visible? Please do communicating with me always.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here fin is the object, okay, which is in order to read from a file. Fout is an object in order to write the data into a file. Now whether you have used fin or fout, you have to open a file. So therefore, point number 4 is with whichever objects requirements that you have analyzed for your problem, you need to now start opening a file. So in order to open a file, this is the function. What is this? This is a member function where it is written in fstream. Who has written? The team. Okay, so fin or fout dot open of your file name, and this mode is optional. In majority of the cases, we don't use mode. Now notice that mode can be any of these 7 modes. If you are working with a binary file, then the mode will be iOS binary file, zeros and ones. Okay, so notice that, look at here. Okay, so notice that the default mode parameter, if you don't specify, for example, input file stream mode is iOS in. In means it is for input operations. Similarly, iOS out means it is output operations. Okay, clear? So as shown in the figure, in a from a C++ program, if you are writing the data into the file, this is nothing but output file stream. You are writing the data into a file. So this is nothing but F out. On the other hand, if you are reading the data from the file into your C++ program, it is Fin. It is Fin. I think there is some audio disturbance outside of my home here. Just hang on a bit, okay? Am I audible? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, so the points are clear. The fourth point is clear. Fourth point is you have to start opening. Okay, and whether you use the second argument, it is optional. Mode is optional. So what are the default parameters if you don't specify? For an object of input file stream, the default mode is in. That means you are reading. For the object of output file stream, the default mode is out. That means you are writing. And you can also create a object of fstream whose mode is either reading or writing. So there is a bitwise R. Clear? Clear? Clear?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, in the same way, like how we have done in first semester, now first 4 steps has to be remembered. Step 1, you include fstream.h. Step 2, identify whether you need an object of bostream or istream or ifstream or both. And accordingly, you declare. That is step 2. Step 3, you start opening a file. Okay, so if you are talking about creating a new file, then you have to use fout. If you are talking about reading an existing file, then you have to take fin. If you are talking about reading an existing file with a need of deleting the contents and again entering a fresh content, then again you have to open that file using fout. Okay, so this is step 4. I think step 3. Step 3 is open. Now step 4 is check whether the file is opened properly or not. So you have to use fail. There is a member function which is fail. It returns 1 if the opening process is failed. It returns boolean 1 if the opening process, that is file open, is failed. Okay, on the other hand, if this function returns false, then the file opening process is successful. So this is step 4. Step 5, in order to make ensure that you are reading the contents until the end of the file, you have a specific function which is called EOF, end of file. You remember capital EOF in C. So similarly here you have a end of file function. And next 2 functions are very important. Okay, so if you want to read the data from the file, you can use fin along with left shift, or you can also use fin.get. Are you listening? Are you following? Please respond.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So similarly, if you want to write the data into a file, then you can use fout with right shift or fout.put. There is a small difference between fin left shift versus fin.get and or fout left shift. No, fout right shift. Fout left shift and fout put. There is a small difference that I will demonstrate with an example with the help of an example program. and the last is close the file. Okay, so these are the file handling object functions which can be operated on. You are operating on whom? You are operating on the objects. Okay, with the added advantage that you are getting, which are not addressed in C. So what we will do is, am I clear? Anybody has anything to say here? We will use again the same notion of, as the user to enter as long as he wants until until a dollar is pressed. Okay. And then read that, allow the user to enter the data and then cross verify the file. So let us do that. So let us take up, shall I proceed? Anybody has any doubts? You are not responding. Anybody has any doubts?
No, sir.
Sir, the sixth
Yeah.
one, you initially stated that in C++, if you do not close the file also, it will call the destructors, no, sir?
Yeah, it will call the destructors, but here file handler will be remained open. So if
Okay.
you forget to close, if you are making another function call to open the same already opened file, then your fail will return 0. No, not 0. It will return 1. That means it is failed. Yeah, it returns 1. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So now here in Teams, I cannot string between multiple sharing of the contents. So look at the example. Our example is, you are asked to write a C++ program to create a text file by name record.txt, allowing the user to enter the data until hash key is pressed to stop, and later cross verify the contents. Okay, so let us do this. Shall we do this? Did you understood what is the requirement?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I'll do is, meanwhile, I'll start sharing is the web page is visible? The answer is no, I think.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so what is visible on your screen? Is it still slide? Okay, fine.
Right, sir.
Okay. So meanwhile, what you do is go to your chat box. There are two questions. Okay, so just fill up the answers along with your roll number and name so as to consider your attendance. Okay, so meanwhile, I will start sharing what? C++, yeah. Now is the web page is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you got the questions?
Yes, sir.
Notice that in today's quiz exam, you will have files also. Please answer the yes.
Sir, we didn't get any rule number to enter.
Oh, roll number ఇవ్వలేదా దానిలో? అరే you do one thing. You have submitted with your name only, right?
Sir, there is no option of name.
Name also is not there.
No name.
Only 2 questions, sir.
Only those 2 questions.
Wait. Hang on. Let me go to forms. One minute. Yeah, is the web page is visible now? Is the web page is visible? I think the answer is no.
No, sir.
No, right? Okay, 1 minute, hang on. Text. I don't need name, I'll just ask for roll number. Required, there are no points for this, 0 points. Okay, I'm again resharing this. Those who have submitted, once again, please submit. 1 minute, hang on. Just check it out. Check it out whether you got the roll number now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, complete it. If you have submitted earlier without roll number, please again resubmit. So meanwhile, let me start sharing the Chrome. Okay, last 5 seconds. Okay, maybe 10 seconds. Okay, 44, 47 responses. To accept the data in .txt file. Okay, so I'm stopping the accept. What is it? There are 59 action. Oh, sorry, 59 responses. 61 responses. 64. Okay, okay. 65. I'm stopping the. Shall I stop? I stopped it. Okay. Those are the 2 simple questions which I have asked. First one is, am I audible? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in C++, if you want to create a new text file, you have to use object of which class?
Of OStream class.
Output file stream
OStream.
class. Yes. So if the open member function is failed to open a file, which value does the call to a member function fail return to? It is true. The answer is true. That is 1. Okay, and then the roll number. I hope you know your roll number. Okay. Next, let us come back to the implementation. Shall I proceed? So let me again.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So hash include, first step. I need IOStream. Then I also need hash include fstream. Then using namespace std. Then okay. Now what? Creating a file. Which object? Fout. So what is the class name? Output file stream. This is step 1. Okay, so this is step 2. Next, what is next? You have to accept the character. So let us take that ASCII character is CH. Then what? I need to create a file by the file name record.txt. So fout dot open of within double quotation record.txt. This is step 3. Then what? Validity. If fout dot fail, if this is true, then cout there is file open error. Am I audible? Is the editor is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next is return 0 because you cannot further continue if the fail is 1. On the other hand, you ask the user, this is step 4. This is step 4. Okay, so this is step 4. Step 2. This was step 1. Right? Now next, we will ask the user, you enter the data and press what? Hash to stop. Okay. Next what? Reading the data. From where are you reading? From the keyboard. Until where? Until key is not equal to hash symbol. What has to be done? If you use cin, whatever you are getting cin, ch, you use fout, write it into ch, write ch into fout. That's it. Here, what is this? This is step 5. Next. So till here it is step 5. Till line number 22, it is step 5. Next what? Next you have to close. Step 6. Return 1. What is this program is about? This program will allow the user to create a file by name record.txt, and whatever data user is entering, until user is enters hash, you are reading that from the input console and you are writing the same data back again into the text file. Clear? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, so let us start compiling. Let us start compiling this. So there is no file error. So enter the data and press hash to stop. Let us enter some data. Then I have kept hash. So this is the file record.txt. Okay, so you can notice that there are special characters which are missing. So this is the problem if you use left shift and right shift. Okay, are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, we can't see spaces here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those spaces, if you want, you have to use the functions. Which functions? Get and put.
Sir,
So
in the
what I
ads
do is,
also,
yeah, tell me. Let
Sir,
me again
in-
recompile. Let me again recompile. Hello, how are you? Hash. Where is that? Record.txt. Yeah, hello, how are you? And then hash. Yeah, tell me some doubts you are saying.
Sir, even
yes.
hash, what we have to, when we have to stop also, hash also return, sir.
Yeah,
are
it is
getting
written,
hash.
no? Because it is in the loop. You are taking hash and later you are checking at the end. You are writing that hash also. Line number 21.
Yes, sir.
And
If you
only
use
when
while,
CH is, if you use while, then first of all, you need to have a character, right?
yes, sir. Yes,
You remember how we have done in C? Same way we are doing here.
yes.
Sir,
Yes, any other doubts? Yes.
sir, in this case, if record.txt, that file already exists, that file will be gone.
Overwritten. Yes, that will be overwritten. It's not gone, it will be there. The entire contents will be erased. Default.
Yes.
However,
Yes.
however, if you want to retain the same contents, you need to work with appropriate flags. There are
Yes, sir.
7 flags I said. Okay, so those flags you can keep, and you can again open your file with read as well as write, and you can control the file handler. Another point, there is no need to increment your file object, file handler object pointer. The moment the data is written, the increment is implicit. Increment by 1 byte if it is a ASCII character, and increment by 1 bit if it is a binary file. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, let us assume I want those spaces also. So what I'll do is cin is nothing but get. So I need to get, that is cin dot, I will read ch, and then I'll keep semicolon. Okay, so instead of this, I'll do this, and then what I'll do is f out dot put of ch. This will be this disadvantage will be overcome, which I said there is a small difference between left shift right shift based logic versus functions based logic. So if you use functions, all the control display characters also will be getting stored. Okay, so let me again recompile this. Right. So today is Friday. www www.ac.in. So let us see our record.txt. So I'll get as it is. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how you have to operate with files. Now this is program 1. So let me copy this into your folder so that I can put it in after the class. f1.txt. What I'm doing is because instead of again switching back again to the PowerPoint and again back to this, I'm copying the second problem and I'll paste it into the editor. Now I'm deleting here. I'm pasting here. Write a C++ program to allow the user to enter a text mail and save it in low.txt and save it in lower file, lower alphabets.txt file. Later, read the contents of the file and copy the contents from this file into another file, in the process convert the lowercase into uppercase of a new file by name up.txt. So let us assume this is my requirement. Okay. Are you following? Is the problem is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us start. Hash include IO stream, hash include F string, namespace, next what? End main of void. First you have to create, that means output file string. What is the file name? Low.txt. Okay, so let us use fout. Now notice that you can write any name. You can write any name here, but it is preferred to use cout because you will get a same feel that you are using cout and fout. Similarly, cin and fn. Okay, are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next is what? Fout dot open of double quotation low dot txt. File has to be created. Next what? If fout dot fail of, then there is a file opening error. So this is cout file error 1. I'm just numbering it, and then I cannot do anything, so return 0. Otherwise, cout, enter your email, then press hash to stop. Press hash to stop. Okay. Next what? Do.
We didn't took character data.
Where?
Character
Yes,
data
what
type we
happened?
didn't. Variable we didn't took,
Yeah,
sir.
variable. Yeah, I'm doing it. Character ch. Next what? I need to get from cin. I will get that into character. Then I have to use fout dot put. I have to keep that into character. Then I have to repeat this until choice is not equal to hash. So once it is done, I will close the file. Once it is done, I will close the file. Fine. So my file is ready now. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So next what? Let us observe till here whether the file is getting saved properly or not. Okay, so let me delete this fellow. Now let me use this main and then let us, yeah, so enter your email. Okay, so some message, right? So program is executing perfectly fine as of now. Now what is our second part of the requirement? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Now what is the second part of the requirement? Now I need to open already available file which is low.txt. Let me again delete this fellow. Okay, so I need to again open the already available file which is low.txt, and then I have to create another file which is up.txt. What is the file name? Yeah, up.txt. In that process, I need to convert from lower to upper. So here I have to handle two file handling objects. One is input file stream, because I need to read the data, that is fn. Okay, so this is where I will be using load.txt. It has to point load.txt. Already it is there. Second is I need to construct another file, output file stream. Okay, so which is fout. Now I cannot redeclare fout again because it is already declared. It is already declared in line number 12. So now notice that from line number 12 till line number 26, you are using fout to point low. But once you have closed fout at line number 26, fout I will be again now reusing to create another file whose name is up. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So what I'm
Yes, sir.
doing is fout dot open. Okay, so now I'll say up.txt semicolon, and also I'll use fn. I have to open what? I have to open already created load.txt. Now I need to make ensure that both fn.fail are fout.fail. If any one of this is returning false, then I cannot still further proceed. That means cout, there is file opening, file error. File error, let us say number 2. Then I can return, I'll return 0, which is a false code. Clear? Now I'll be coming to line number 35 only when fail is returning 0 in both the cases. Yes or no? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what I have to do, I have to start running a loop. Such that my fn dot eof until this is not reaching the end of the file, until my load.txt file has some data, I need to now get from where? From fn where into ch. Okay. And if this ch is greater than or equal to small a and ch is less than or equal to small z, then I have to say ch is equal to ch minus 32. Okay, and other characters I will not change anything, and I need to use fout dot put of ch. I'm reading character by character. I'm analyzing if it is a lowercase. If it is lowercase, I'm converting that into uppercase, and I'm saving back into a new file which is up.txt. So this is do while will have a semicolon. Right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next is what? Next is close. Your job is done. That means fout dot close. Similarly, fn close. And cout some message. Okay. Right. Let us compile this. Any doubts?
Sir, we should create effort? No, sir.
Effort I have already declared, no?
But we closed, no, sir. Effort dot closure.
You have closed, but again you are reopening. Only thing is, fout is a object variable type. It is a variable of type object. Okay, so is it available within the scope? It is available. Fout is accessible in 12. Fout is accessible in line number 28. But notice that fout in line number 14 points to load.txt, and same fout is pointing to up.txt in line number 28. That's the only difference. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us compile this. Yes. Yes.
So what if we need to create two files and copy that in the another third file? I mean, if we want to use two files, then writing twice f out.
Okay. No. Repeat your requirement. You said I want to create two. I want to access two files. That means two
Yes,
files
sir.
are already there.
Two
Okay. So that
files
means
of
what you.
no, sir. We should
Hmm?
create two files first, and we should
Okay.
copy that in third file.
Then you do one thing. Output file stream f out 1. Again output file stream f out to 2. F out 1 is first file. F out 2 is second file.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Understood?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. Any other doubts? Any other doubts? Now let us start entering the email. Some message. Okay, so let us see what has happened in low under text. Yeah, this is low and this is up. Okay. I couldn't able to hear anything. I think I have again compiled.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us go back to main. Okay, so this is our program number 2. Let me copy this and put it in second file, which is F2. Now assume that I want to pass these file objects as the arguments to a function. I want to pass these file objects as arguments to a function, and I want the conversion process to separate as a function. That means starting from line number 35 till line number 41, I'm cutting it. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll call convert of and I'll pass f in and f out. I want the conversion to happen in convert. Did you understood what I'm talking about? I'm talking about is it possible to pass the file objects as the members as the arguments of a function? The answer is yes. So let me, before I start doing anything else, let me paste the code here. So this is the code which I have cut there. Now it is void, it is convert. Okay, so first fellow is fin. So it is input file stream. Let us say address of instead of fin, let me use rin. You can use anything. So output file stream. Let us use rout. Okay, so this is our function definition. Now I need to use R here and then R here. Okay, then again R here. Then ch has to be declared here. So let me use character ch. Have you understood what I have done? I have separated this into a function. Now let us, yes, anybody has any doubts? Anybody has any doubts? Not audible. I couldn't able to hear anything. Hello?
No, sir.
No doubt, sir.
Yeah, fine. So let me execute this. So this is low and this is up. Okay? Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now assume that you are asked to write a class. You are asked to write a class with a output file handler as an object, as a data member, which is a private data member. Understood? Assume that you are asked to define a class with a file handling output file stream object type as the private access specifier. Allow the user to enter the file name as a part of the constructor. Are you listening?
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
So allow the user as a part of the constructor to enter the file name. With that file name, you create a file, which is a text file. And as the user types in, whatever the user is typing those words, you dynamically allocate the memory by creating a linked list. Are you following? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So you now maintain such linked lists of 26, which are array of linked lists. And then you write a member function such that the most recently used word will come first. So what will be the advantage here? You are talking about privacy. You are also saving whatever the user is entering. So this is how the logs are saved onto a specific computer without knowing without knowing the user. You are getting my point.
Yes, sir.
You know how to find the history, right, in Chrome? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So similarly, if we write a .exe file here, and if I compile this as a part of the kernel, as a part of the OS, okay, and if I give a specific system to that person, and if that person is using a network where I am connected, where I am admin, okay, so whatever sites, whatever keywords, whatever words, whatever thing is getting, whatever thing that the user is typing, it will be saved in a .txt file without the user's interest. I mean, without the actual user's intervention. Have you understood what I'm telling?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So problems of this, which are actually real world projects, can be now taken up. Okay, so this is the entry point for those students. I'm sorry. This was the entry point of Mr. What is his name? Linus. No, not Linus. What is his name? Google creator, Google founder. Okay. So where are you following? Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so where when he was staying in hostel, he was very curious to know what girls are doing. Okay, so he knows how to identify the. I mean, he means actually he has some team. Team means friends only. Okay, so they have started writing a .exe with launching into that IP, specific IP, and then that's how searching has been started. Okay. So, okay, fine. So I'll stop here. I hope this class is, I mean, though I initially said it was out of syllabus, this is very important. Okay, so this is the power of C++ where you use, I mean, where the user can start at the machine level object reusable concepts. And when you take up a course on IC design, okay, so where you will witness something called Verilog programming. So that Verilog programming is now getting migrated into something called as a System C. So System C language is almost the same as C++, because there we deal about the object reusable and inheritance properties, because inheritance is an extremely critical feature of C++ that allows the objects reusability. Okay, so because of that, I have already told that several complex hardware circuits can be designed by using a simplified, already available basic universal gates. So using this, the netlist libraries can be generated, and those libraries can be compiled on a specific IC technology, and then the digital synthesis will be generated, and those digital synthesis based netlist libraries will be supplied to the IC designers to start fabricating the chips. Okay, so that the applications which are expected to run on those processors will use those objects, and thereby you are shortening the development time, not only for your IC design but also for the application development. I don't know how much you have understood. I have told something. Okay, have you followed? Have you understood? There is no sound.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
audible? Yeah. So let me stop here. I think it is 10:47 in my system. I'll stop here. Anybody has any doubts? Is the course interesting? C++?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Another aspect which is missing in C++ is the network programming. So once you start programming the networks, wherein you start, you can do the socket programming. It is socket, SO. Okay. Socket programming means you have to open a specific port number, and then you can configure a network, and then you can start network related traffic programming. But in order to do that, you need to have a prerequisite of TCP by IP protocol suite. So TCP by IP protocol suite you will be studying as a part of sixth semester coursework. Okay, as a part of data communications and computer networks, which is a separate course that is available in sixth semester. And subsequently in the sixth semester, you will also study microprocessors and microcontrollers architecture and its programming with assembly, and probably I may also take up that. Okay, and then in seventh semester you have a mix of this data communications and computer networks along with microcontroller programming into advanced embedded systems, which again I will be taking in seventh semester. Okay, so if a chip is available, then how to port a operating system onto that, which is a 8th semester professional elective. Okay, so which will be in your 8th semester professional elective. And if you still want to pursue your journey into this domain, you can opt MTech and specialization under which you can start programming network interfaces with device driver programming in Linux, and the kernel development with modularity and addressing the custom kernel design in SEM 1 and SEM 2 of your MTech. Okay. So let me stop here. I don't know whether I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so probably whatever I have told, you can revisit those recording videos, and you will be witnessing during the times when you take up those courses. You may be witnessing, I don't know, because some courses will be choice based because you are under CBCS, choice based credit system. So you have a choice to choose this choice. Otherwise, the choice is the left out choice. Okay. So I'll stop here, and then another point is you have exam at 3 o'clock, right?
4.
4. Okay, you remember. Okay. Okay, then I'll stop here, and I have already given I have considered the attendance. I have taken the attendance, and did what is his name? Somebody said roll number 45, Shivateja. Did he join?
Yes, sir.
Shivateja, you are there? Shivateja, are you there? Okay, he's an exception. So I'll handle that exception in a separate catch block. Okay, then bye.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me, any doubts?
sir, you have sent a invitation, sir, at 4 o'clock to join in a class.
That's okay. That's only invitation. Na? That class will be only for 10 minutes. That is not a class.
Okay, sir.
I'll send the link in the WhatsApp group, and
Okay.
please notice that I'll be doing double action because the same time I have to do the theme-based project review for sixth semester students. So I will not come into audio mode. I will be in action mode. So I will enable the button at 4 o'clock. I will disable the button at 4:15. Okay, so and then after my assessment of theme-based projects are also completed, then I'll post the marks. Okay,
sir.
and notice that files which we have discussed in today's class is also there in today's exam.
Okay, sir.
Okay, anything else? Let me, yeah.
Sir, can you please share the PPTs of the exceptions and files?
Exceptions I have already given, na?
PPT we didn't get, sir.
PPT, how many PPTs? There are only 3 PPTs. Whatever is there in the lecture, that itself. Fine, I'll share what is there.
Yeah. Like as I said, one day's lecture was not there.
Yeah, which is not visible. What was the topic we have discussed on that day?
Introduction to exceptions, sir.
No, I remember we have repeated it, right? I think the repeated lecture is available in the in this what is this, Teams?
Yes, sir.
Just check it out. If it is not available, what you can do is you go to my YouTube channel and same lecture number for section C. If you see the same content, you will get.
Yes, sir.
Did you understood what I have told?
Yes, sir.
So try to, I think it is there, because I remember once when we have started exceptions, my network was exception, so it had a problem. I remember I took only some 35 to 40 minutes class, wherein I couldn't able to discuss majority of the concepts. So I think I have repeated the entire content in the next class, which was available and which is available in the Teams. Can somebody tell whether it is available? It is not available. Anybody has seen?
The second one is available, sir.
Yeah, fine. If you want some of the other contents which you think we have not discussed in the other class, you can look into section C presentation.
Yes, sir.
Which is there in the YouTube channel, which can be accessible by anybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then anything else? This presentation, this is not a presentation. Okay, fine. These functions and all, fine. I'll share this. Maybe I may not be sharing immediately because now I have to take another class, and afternoon I have TBP, that is theme-based projects. So only in the night I can able to share. So meanwhile, if you want the points that needs to be remembered, just go through the contents that we have discussed in the recorded in the recorded video, which will be available immediately once the meeting is ended.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else? I'm not hearing other voices. Kirti, you are there. Srija, you are there. Srija, roll number, what is her number? 48.
8, sir.
48, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about Kirti? What about Arif? 42? 42, you are there? No. Okay. What about Venkatesh? 59. Venkatesh, are you there? Venkatesh, no. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, while submission of assignment, we have to send the .cpp files or only just the written document of the answers or for the
No,
questions.
no, no, dot CPP file only. You, in the subject line, you mention your roll number and send dot CPP. I know how to compile also, don't worry. So send only dot CPP. Still, students are sending PDFs. How do I cross verify PDFs? Don't do that.
Okay,
I will
sir.
not even look into other files. Please send only .cpp. But it is true that I am sending sometimes .txt files because students who are using mobile phones will have a problem to open. So therefore, I am sending .txt files. Or else you send .cpp files or .txt files.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And another point is it possible to handle the files with the command line arguments? It is possible. You remember command line arguments? Write a program to print the same
Sir,
program.
it's better to take one of the class and combine learn arguments also, sir.
Again, I am saying very rarely it will be asked. Instead of that, I think it is better, or it is the time for us to see. It is a very big C. Okay, so it will be better to revise the important definitions and concepts starting from unit 1 from the next class onwards. I think that will be much more structured than leaving the, I mean, still you have command line arguments, then networking programming. Okay, so then you have the kernel coding, many are there. These are all subdomains. Then database, how to maintain database, how to fetch, then query languages. Okay, so let us not dig into too much of programming. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Command line arguments, same thing what we have done. You have to use A to I or I to A, ASCII to integer. I think time is up. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
sir will be waiting. Let me stop here. We will revise, and also I'll take up the doubts in the next class. So please notice that from next class onwards, control has to be taken by students. I will not present, you have to present. Okay, so let me stop the meeting now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Recording, stop recording. Stop.